One of the really exciting things that we saw at CinemaCon this year was a big presentation on the new animated Transformers 1. Now, I confess that, I haven't exactly been excited about this animated project. So I was very curious to see what they're going to do. And they showed it to us. And I got to say, I liked what I saw. They showed us a trailer and then they showed us like a 5, 6, 7 minute scene. And today they actually launched the trailer online. As has been reported, they did finally put out the first Transformers 1 trailer, and it's described like this by The Verge. Set in the distant past on Cybertonian homeworld, Transformers 1 tells a story of how Orion Pax, who becomes Optimus Prime, voiced by Chris Hemsworth, and D16, who becomes Megatron, voiced by Brian Tyree Henry, went from being best friends to mortal enemies soon after discovering their powers to turn into various kinds of vehicles. Now, the first thing I said at CinemaCon when I saw it was, this was not what I was expecting. And that's a good thing, because I what I was expecting them to try to do and whatever. I mean, because look, the reality is, in recent years, and you can attribute a lot of this to Michael Bay, Optimus Prime had been turned into this dark, dour, sour, grumpy, I'll kill you. I'll kill you. Like it's just, there was no joy in Optimus Prime anymore. There was no mirth. Like the kind of character that we had in the original G1 animated show that I grew up watching and worshiped so much. And this, they went in a very, very different direction. And it was jarring for me at first, but then I kind of started to catch the idea of what they were going for. And I got to admit, I got on board with it. Now, the trailer they showed us at CinemaCon is the same trailer they showed online. But I also had the benefit of seeing like a 5, 6, 7, 8 minute long scene to go along with the trailer that kind of filled in the gaps on what the trailer was there for. So basically, Optimus and Megatron are, lower level denizens of Cybertron, but kind of like National Treasure, Optimus discovers a map that is said to lead, through a secret signal he got, that is said to lead to this mythical artifact known as the Matrix of Leadership, which could change the destiny of Cybertron. And so they go on this quest to the surface of Cybertron to try to find, the Matrix of Leadership and all that kind of stuff. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Miracle Made. Did you know that your temperature at night can have one of the greatest impacts on your sleep quality? If you wake up too hot or too cold, I highly recommend you check out Miracle Made's bed sheets. Inspired by NASA, Miracle Made uses silver-infused fabrics and makes temperature-regulating bedding so that you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. When they arrived at our house, my wife Ann loved the feel of them so much, she couldn't even wait for me to get home to put them on our bed. Miracle Made has self-cleaning. These sheets are infused with silver that prevents up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. Miracle Sheets also have incredible comfort and quality. Miracle Sheets are luxuriously comfortable without the high price tag of other luxury brands and feel as nice, if not nicer, than sheets used by some 5-star hotels. So go to TryMiracle, that's TryMiracle.com/Campea to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo code Campea at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you will get a full refund. So upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to TryMiracle.com/Campea and use the code Campea to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's TryMiracle.com/Campea to treat yourself. And the tone of it, Rob, the humor of it, as soon as I saw the trailer CinemaCon, I thought, this is not going to work for some 40-plus-year-old guys who grew up wanting something different. But I have to admit to you, as somebody who's a very hardcore G1 Transformers fan, who's been very critical of the 80s Transformers animated movie and all that kind of stuff, this is different, but I think I like where they're going because it kind of worked. And you and I haven't had a chance to talk about this yet. What did you think about the trailer?
First of all, okay, when I first saw Transformers, they were repacked, the toys. They were repacked versions of other Japanese stuff from like Macross, Robotech, things like that. So I was like, I've never had a real love and affection because I was a little bit old, and I loved Japanese shows like Gundam and Macross, Robotech, and things like that. So I always saw Transformers as a pretender to the throne. But then I came to like them, and I've actually bought some in my time. And I actually, when I saw Michael Bay's first movie, I really liked it. The story of a boy in his car and wish fulfillment, and some of the visual effects were just astonishing. And I really liked Peter Cullen came back. So I have developed an affection for this franchise. Watching this trailer, John, I was like, this looks pretty good. I mean, I love the fact that you're seeing this friendship that went awry. That's an irresistible story point. And going back this far, I think it's showing us something new. And I'm excited. I was like, I'll watch this. I mean, I went and saw Unicron in the theater. I went and saw the Transformers movie back, what was that, 86? When it was in the theater?
1986, yeah.
I went and saw it, and I liked it, and there's obvious certain connections to certain TV shows I'm fond of, but I thought this trailer, I put a smile on my face, and I'm going.
Yeah, listen, I don't know, honestly, how I would feel about the trailer on its own had I not seen the extended scene that went along with it, that gave us a much better idea of the personalities and stuff like that. And by the way, Chris Hemsworth and Brian Tyree Henry do a great job in it. When Chris Hemsworth came out on stage at CinemaCon to talk about Transformers 1, the very first thing after saying good morning to everybody that he talked about was working with Peter Cullen. Was, the icon of Peter Cullen, the voice of Optimus Prime that I grew up with, that all of us grew up with, and talked about, his conversations with Peter Cullen and the honor that it is to kind of pick up the shield for Peter Cullen and stuff like that. And what Peter Cullen and his approach was and what they thought the approach should be to this new iteration of Optimus Prime or Orion Pax at this point. And it really made me nostalgic at the same time. And I liked what I was hearing. And I think, look, this is going back to its roots. This is not a Transformers made for the 40-plus-year-old men like us.
Yeah.
Who grew up watching G1 back in the 80s. This is for a new generation of people to hop on board with Transformers. And all I can tell you is that the stuff I saw looked pretty good. And I think there are going to be some people that have a predetermined idea, Rob, about what they want a new Transformers animated movie to be. And when they see that it's not what their preconceived idea is, they're instantly going to be against it. And I admit, I had some preconceived ideas about what I kind of thought, well, if this Transformers is going to be any good, it better do this. That was me. And it's different than what I thought, but I see the potential in it. And so fingers crossed for me.
Yeah, I mean, look, to me, here's the thing. It was apparent from the trailer that the people who made this put a lot of thought into it.
Oh, yeah.
And my whole thing with IPs, as I've always said, is I want the people that are coming back to these venerable IPs, these things that have been around for a long time that people have literally grown up with. If they become the new custodians of these things, I want to know, whatever they are, that the people respect the IP. They've put a lot of time and effort into figuring out how this fits into the grand scheme of the IP. And it seems to me, and again, I don't know everything about Transformers, but it seems to me there was a lot of love and respect put into this. And you saw that by Hemsworth coming out and saying immediately, hey, I had to talk to Peter Cullen.
Oh, and by the way, you're talking about like, this is clearly made by people who love Transformers.
Yeah.
Dude, just in the 6-7 minutes that they showed us, there are some deep lore cuts.
Okay, good.
And just in little things, like very deep cuts of true Transformers lore that are in there. That's, again, kind of highlights the fact that this is made by people. Now, listen, it's made by people who clearly love Transformers. That doesn't mean it's going to work. The person who made that Dungeons and Dragons movie 20 years ago was the biggest Dungeons and Dragons fan in the world, but that movie sucked. Just because somebody's a fan of the material doesn't mean it's going to be good.
I agree.
But it is definitely clearly made by people who are big fans of the material. So we'll see how that goes. Question is for you guys. What do you think? Did you have a chance to see the Transformers 1 trailer? If so, were you surprised like me? Like it was not what I was expecting, but do you see potential in it? Maybe you see disaster in it. I think this is going to be a pretty damn big hit for these guys. So hold a second. I actually have to take this call. I feel bad. Hello? Yes, it is. Yes, and I have to jump off right now. I just wanted to answer your call to say, yep, we'll expect you around 1 o'clock. Yes? Okay. No, 12:40 is fine. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Come on, that was Ryan Reynolds.
Sorry about that. No. Sorry about that. We are moving today, and I knew that was the movers. I want one set of the movers, so I had to answer the call.
It was
anyway.
Come on.
Anyway. Okay. So, yes, whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.